All right, welcome back everyone to the deep dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on those make or break moments in English job interviews. We want to help turn those mind-freezing moments into words that, well, that really shine. And this isn't just about getting the grammar right, is it?
Not at all. It's more about stepping into your own professional power confidently.
Exactly.
And, the stakes are just undeniably high. We've seen data, research showing 83% of hiring managers, they form an immediate positive impression from good answers.
83%, wow.
Yeah. And on the flip side, weak answers are, well, they're the most common reason good candidates get passed over. So our focus today, our mission really, is to help soothe some of that interview anxiety and awaken your inner leader.
Love that. So our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. We want to give you the exact tools, the insights, craft answers that aren't just grammatically sound,
Right.
but are specific, confident, and really show your impact. We're going to unpack some strategies used by, well, the top candidates.
The ones who get the offers.
Right, giving you that edge. So when we talk about getting these answers right, I think the first thing many people hear about is the STAR method. It's everywhere.
It is. It's foundational.
But I often wonder, is there a common way people misuse it? Or maybe a misconception that actually holds them back instead of helping?
That's a really sharp question.
Yeah.
Because STAR gives you a great narrative arc, right? But the misuse often comes when people just list the parts. It sounds robotic.
Like checking boxes?
Exactly, instead of telling a story. So just quickly, STARS is situation. You're setting the scene, giving context. Don't give too much detail or too little.
Okay.
T is task.
Yeah.
What was your role?
Yeah.
What challenge did you face specifically? Make your accountability clear.
Your part.
Your part. A is action. What steps did you actually take? Use strong verbs. Be specific. People get vague here. And R, result. This is crucial. The measurable outcome, the impact. It's often the bit people forget or downplay. What was the benefit?
That difference between just listing and actually telling a story, that seems key. We found a great example that really highlights this impact idea.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. At my last job, we had this situation where team project completion rates were lagging. That's the situation.
Okay, clear context.
My task was to lead an effort to improve collaboration. The task.
Right, specific role.
So the action I took was designing and running weekly cross-functional brainstorming sessions with clear follow-ups. The action.
Concrete steps, good.
And the result. We boosted our project completion rate by 30% in 3 months, hitting our quarterly targets. The result. See, not just it got better, but a specific quantified business impact.
That 30% makes all the difference. That's exactly it. And zooming out, the real power of STAR isn't just the neat structure. It forces you to talk about your impact, which makes you think, right, how many amazing things have people done that just fell flat in an interview because they didn't frame it this way? Totally.
Yeah.
It shifts you from just being there to being someone who solves problems and delivers results.
Okay, so understanding STAR is one thing, but then you get hit with those classic questions, the ones everyone expects but still kind of dreads.
Oh, yeah.
Like, tell me about yourself. How do we use this STAR thinking or something similar without sounding like we're just reading our resume bullet points?
Great question.
Oh.
Because those common ones, they're actually golden opportunities if you handle them right. Let's take them.
Okay.
Question 1. Tell me about yourself. Definitely not your life story. Think of it as your professional elevator pitch tailored for this job.
Right.
We suggest a past, present, future structure. Sort of, here's where I started, here's what I'm doing now, and here's why I'm excited about this role.
Makes sense.
Like, well, I began my career really diving into marketing analytics, and that I focused more on digital strategy. And now I'm really looking to use that blend to expand customer reach, ideally in a company like yours that's doing X. Concise, relevant, forward-looking.
Got it. Past, present, future. Okay, what's next?
Question 2. What is your greatest strength? Don't just name a generic trait like hard worker. Pick one relevant skill. And crucially, give evidence. Quantify it.
Quantify it, that word again.
It's key. So maybe, my core strength is problem solving. For instance, I noticed a recurring customer issue was bogging down our support team. So I took the initiative, created an FAQ system, and that actually cut support tickets by 40%.
Wow, 40%, that's tangible.
That's the proof. And it shows initiative too. Okay, question 3. Why should we hire you? This is your closing argument in a way.
Your pitch?
Your pitch. Combine your skills, show you understand their needs and culture your fit, and add some genuine enthusiasm.
So bringing it all together.
Exactly. Like, well, with my project management background, my track record in achieving X result, maybe mention that 40% again, and see how much your company values Y, I'm really confident I can hit the ground running and help drive your next campaign forward. It shows you've done your homework and you see the connection.
That's really clear. And for you listening, maybe pause and think. Which one of those questions usually makes you feel a bit stuck?
Mm-hmm.
And how could using these frameworks maybe shift that feeling, turn it from a hurdle into, like you said, an opportunity? Now, here's something really interesting and maybe a bit counterintuitive. It's about the pause.
Yes. The power of the pause.
It sounds so simple, but it's powerful, right?
It really is. Often when we're nervous, we rush. We spill out words just to fill the silence.
Placacy is charged sometimes.
We all do it.
Yeah.
But taking a deliberate breath, just a second or two, to frame your thoughts before you speak, that signals something different.
What does it signal?
Confidence,
Mm-hmm.
presence, thoughtfulness. It changes that potential perception of, they're stuck into, they're considering this question carefully.
So it reframes hesitation as composure.
Precisely. And connecting that to the bigger picture, it means you're not just reacting. You're actively shaping your response. You're in control.
I know you mentioned an example from the sources about someone who really benefited from this. Can you share that?
Absolutely. There was a student, Mai. Initially, she really struggled with clarity when she felt under pressure in practice interviews.
Okay.
She started consciously using just a 1 or 2 second pause before answering each question. Just breathing, thinking.
Yeah.
The transformation was remarkable. Her confidence visibly grew, yes, but more importantly, her answers became so much clearer, more structured, more impactful.
Wow.
It let her prepared thoughts actually surface properly. It's a fantastic illustration of how a tiny tweak can have a huge impact on performance. Think about how that could feel for you listening right now.
Yeah, just that little bit of space.
And look, the proof is there in the data too. Preparation works. LinkedIn research consistently finds candidates trained using structures like STAR. They are twice as likely to get job offers.
Twice as likely. That's significant.
It really is. It shows it's not just what you say, but how you structure and deliver it.
Which brings us back to preparation. It's not just about the structure, it's the mindset too, right? I love that quote from Tara Gentile. Preparation meanders hope into confidence.
That's a great quote. It really nails it.
Because it highlights that just hoping for the best, winging it. That's really doing yourself a disservice. You have the skills, the experience. Preparation turns that potential into confident delivery.
Exactly. And let's be clear. Preparation isn't about memorizing scripts word for word. That sounds robotic.
Right, we talked about that.
It's about building a confident framework. Knowing your key stories, your key strengths, your key results, and having practiced how to articulate them clearly using something like STAR. It gives you building blocks.
Which makes you more agile, I guess.
Totally agile. You can adapt to the specific question because you have your core material ready. Which leads to an interesting thought. What other areas of professional life could benefit from that kind of structured preparation? Presentations, negotiations.
Good point. It's a transferable skill. Okay, so as we start to wrap up this deep dive, let's quickly recap the main takeaways for you. First, really get comfortable with that STAR structure. Make it your go-to engine for answers, and always focus on that measurable result.
The impact.
The impact. Second, pick those top 3 questions. Tell me about yourself, strength, why hire you, and actually practice answering them using these frameworks. Refine them.
Practice out loud.
Yes. And third, embrace the pause, that little moment of quiet. That's your anchor. It builds composure and confidence.
So here's a challenge for you listening. Pick one of those questions we talked about, just one.
Okay.
Get your phone out, record yourself answering it, use the STAR method, remember the R, and consciously take that brief pause before you start, then play back.
Actually listen to yourself.
Yes. Listen, notice the difference.
Yes.
Feel the power and clarity that comes through when you approach it this way. It can be quite eye-opening.
I bet. And maybe one final thought to leave you with as you continue on this journey. Think about how mastering these communication techniques, It's obviously huge for interviews, right?
Crucial.
But how does it also empower you to articulate your value, your unique story, with that same clarity and impact in any high-stakes situation? Meetings, presentations, even just advocating for your ideas.
That's a great point. It's a fundamental skill.
How does building this muscle unlock deeper levels of, well, self-expression and real professional growth, way beyond just landing the next job? Something to definitely think about. We hope this deep dive has given you some powerful tools for that journey.